The wacky world of MultimediaJay.
Aw, look at the poor little Gamecube. Sitting next to more relics that I got rid of in the 2000s, like my zip drive and a floppy drive. You can almost see like a look. If it had a face, it would have this look that said, "Nobody wants to play me anymore." Meanwhile, right next to it. Anywho. Well, with the PlayStation 2 out of the way, we're going to be really moving forward now because the big one is done from this series. And we're going to kind of almost go back into odds and ends mode, so we're going to go almost completely in the other direction this go around as we talk about some more systems and nowhere near as many games. Yes, that is 3 different consoles represented in one small stack of games. So, yeah, we're going to be mostly talking about the GameCube and getting into PS3 as well later on, so let's get straight to it. But first, a little intermission here. Final Fantasy VIII, PlayStation 1. Final Fantasy VIII for PS1, the one and only PS1 game that I have right now, and I bought this largely to test the backward compatibility in the PS2s that I have. So, yeah, PlayStation 1. This isn't, again with the glare, it's the Green Label re-release, so it's a greatest hits. And the interesting part about this game is that you can actually still buy this new on Amazon. It's actually still being sold new. Of course, FF8 wasn't exactly all that great. There were a lot of problems with the in-game mechanics and stuff. But I actually got this largely to test out backward compatibility on the PS2s. So largely to see how that works and how it looked. Now, don't really have much reason to play through it because I also have the original PC version of FF8 around here somewhere, and there's a re-release on Steam. So yeah. One and only PlayStation 1 game. Alright, now let's get into the old GameCube here. This was my first console that I bought new post-college. The first PS2 I had was secondhand. The fat PS2 was secondhand. And so I eventually wound up getting this first. And I eventually, when the Wii came out, would eventually switch over to the Wii. The poor GameCube has gotten the short end of the stick as far as my collection is concerned. I don't have a lot of games specifically for GameCube, and this console in particular is rubbish. I mean, the GameCube is probably the cheapest console out there right now. You're talking $50 is borderline ripoff for a GameCube. It really depends on the model number, because just like with the Game Boy Advance back in those days, there is one model of GameCube that is good, and there's one model of GameCube that sucks. This is the one that sucks. It's a dull 101, late-era GameCube with analog out only. No digital out, therefore no component video, because Nintendo, in their infinite non-wisdom that they've been expressing in spades over the past 10 years, or past 20 years at this point, beginning with the Nintendo 64, Nintendo, in their infinite non-wisdom, decided to yank the support for component out to save costs, because not a lot of people were using it back then. Well, history has laughed in their face. Can you imagine? I mean, this thing's only capable of component or composite and maybe S-video. They finally got into discs, but this can't use any cables that are actually better than the N64 for this. Oh, this poor thing, I don't expect to get much for it when I finally get rid of it either, because cheapest console out there. And I imagine what's probably going to eventually happen is the 001s, the doll 001s that still have the component out, are going to be the ones that are actually pricey, while the 101s are going to be dirt cheap. So, because who wants to look at composite video on these games when an old Wii with GameCube support will play these games and send them out through component, so they can actually look good in progressive scan and not be what this kind of forces them to be. It's really too bad. Great console, and back when I had a tube TV, I actually still played it. But nowadays, I have zero use for it. And I don't expect to get hardly anything for it when I do actually try to trade that sucker in. Alright, let's get into some software here. Beginning with the biggest GameStop disaster I've ever gotten. This isn't... I kind of swapped some cases around, but I might swap it again. But, what happened to this Smash Brothers Melee? What is that? That is disgusting. GameStop quality, people. Tried tearing off the stickers. I'll eventually try to Goo Gone that crap off. Ugh. What happened? Did someone spill some food on it? Did someone throw up on it? I don't know. I scrubbed this sucker with some antibacterial stuff when I first got it, but GameStop quality, baby. But at least the sticker is on the outside of the case and not stuffed inside the jacket, or stuffed inside on the insert. Yeah, there's some of that crap on the back too. I'm gonna have to Goo Gone this sucker. That is disgusting. I don't think this is the case that was originally on this game, but is it even complete? Oh yeah, it's complete. I just got to clean the case. Cool. Yeah. Disc. How does the disc look? A couple smudges here and there, but not much in terms of deep scratches. So yeah, Smash Brothers Melee. I don't really play it too much, although some people say it's better than Brawl, so I might get back into it later on. It goes Smash Brothers games go very well with the GameCube controller, but I don't know what that is. I have never known what that crap is on the case, and another reason why people can't stand GameStop, because they consider this acceptable quality of secondhand merchandise. Right. I'll eventually Goo Gone that sucker to death. Next up, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, and this is where we're really going to start seeing the GameStop stickers on the secondhand games, because I didn't get a wholesale lot of GameCube cases, only PS2, so sadly. Now the site is now gouging people for retail prices, $3 a case. Go to the right yard sale, you can get some crappy games for $3, throw away the games and just use the cases. Or get some of those sports games that everybody has and are dirt cheap in the secondhand stores. Just ditch the games and just use the case. I don't know. Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, if I could even say it properly. Complete, at the very least, for a secondhand GameCube game. This sucker is pretty decent golf game, actually. It's a sequel to Mario Golf on the N64, so got it because of Mario Golf on the N64. So Toadstool Tour, a little tacky. It's one of the Camelot games that licensed the Mario character, so it's a little cheesy. Mario's like, it's and stuff like that. It's kind of tacky, but it's a solid golf game with some solid visuals for the GameCube era, and in progressive scan it looks pretty nice, so alright, it's playable at the very least. Wind Waker. I actually got this sucker new, I think. Yep, complete. Wind Waker for GameCube. I recently picked up Wind Waker HD as a download with a download coupon that I got from Mario Kart 8, so I don't really have much of a reason to play this old GameCube version of Wind Waker much anymore. But yeah, I understand this is the one that's secondhands for pretty decent prices these days. For whatever reason, even though the GameCube version is out, even though the HD version is out, yeah, I don't know why, but hey, first-hand, original owner, one of the few GameCube games that I actually have new. FZero GX, one of my favorites. The very nice sequel to FZero X from the N64. Saw this on Tech TV back in the day. Morgan Webb just couldn't get over how much of a sense of speed there was in this game. So, yeah, this actually was the game that, that crappy Smash Brothers Melee case that I had, that actually was originally the FZero GX case. So, now that I think of it, yeah, that was the FZero GX case. This was, this sucker is it even complete? No, it isn't. No manual. So, funny how one of my favorite games on the GameCube that I'll still gladly play in the Wii to this day isn't complete, but oh well. Decent game nonetheless. Wave Race Blue Storm, a successor to Wave Race 64, and not on its original artwork. If you'll notice, there is no UPC on the back because I photoshopped it out, because if you look right there, you can see the original artwork underneath. It's faded. I didn't like the faded artwork when I picked this up for a couple of bucks at GameStop, so I printed out another copy of the artwork, which is why it's not flush to the edges. This is back when my color printer still actually worked, so, well, the game has seen better days. Not complete either. Not complete either. I found it to be a lot harder than Wave Race 64, though, which is why I haven't done too much playing with it. So I might try it again someday because, well, it's Wave Race. But, yeah, wasn't that expensive, so not much of a loss. Mario Kart Double Dash. Falling Over. The game that the game complete. And I am the original owner of this sucker because the GameStop folks gave me a song and a dance when I went looking for Mario Kart Double Dash. And, GameStop people. I went there looking for Mario Kart Double Dash, and the GameCube was still being sold. It was still a perfectly viable console. The Wii wasn't out yet. And the person working in the GameStop store said, "Oh no, we don't have that game anymore. It's been discontinued." I'm like, it's the current Mario Kart game. This is before Mario Kart Wii came out. I'm like, it's the current Mario Kart game. How can a current Mario Kart game be discontinued? I'm telling you, discontinued. So I went over to Walmart, saw that they had this game new, and I wouldn't have to buy it used. Went back to the GameStop, I'm like, hey, you know the Walmart up the street has this game new? Well, that's because they have more inventory. I'm telling you, this game's discontinued. I wound up getting it at Walmart. I'm the original owner, and it's complete. Single finger salute to GameStop. Interesting Mario Kart game. This is one of those games that gets made fun of because it had elements that disappeared in a single game. So, in this case, you pick two kart drivers and you flip people between front and back for your items and your driver and stuff like that. Still an interesting game. I think the unique mechanics make it still somewhat worth playing today, even with Mario Kart 8 being in HD and Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart DS and all the Mario Karts, Mario Kart 7 too. And all the Mario Karts that have come out since then. But this one, with its interesting two-person mechanic, yeah. Putting Mario and Bowser on the same cart. Yeah. So, yeah. GameStop, nice try with the BS about it being discontinued. Walmart had this new, and they had a better price new than GameStop had it used back then. Super Mario Sunshine, also known as Firefighter Mario to some people I know. This sucker was, of course, goes around with that little water tank thing and things like that. I got it because it was a Mario game, but didn't like it as much as Mario 64. So there were other people that shared my sentiments. I mean, replacing the nice 3D platforming with firing a water hose everywhere. But at least it's complete. I think I actually might be the original. I think I'm actually the original owner. It's a Player's Choice release, but I don't think I bought this secondhand. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I've since removed all signs of GameStop from this thing, so I can't tell anymore. Which is one of the nice things about knowing where to shop with some of this secondhand stuff. Speaking of secondhand stuff, blatantly secondhand, because I did not get the bonus disc, or I did not get the bundle that originally came with this bonus disc. This is a second-hand Zelda Ocarina of Time. I don't know if there was a manual, so I don't know if it's complete or not. Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is the definitive version to get because I find the GameCube controller to be a lot more intuitive for this game than the classic controller on the Virtual Console release of this game. So, and of course the N64 controller was a mess, even build quality-wise. I mean, it's the flimsiest Nintendo controller I've ever had. I may actually buy a third-party Retrobit controller for my N64 and consider it a step up with some of the liberties they took with the design, like the PlayStation 2 style thumbstick. I'll have to check that sucker out later. I got this largely to have a disc version of a disc version of Ocarina of Time that didn't look that could play in progressive scan, formatted for widescreen on this version, and the Master Quest. And I still haven't even beaten the original, much less gotten around to playing the Master Quest yet. So, yeah, this was a bonus disc that came out back in the day, not for resale. I think it was a Wind Waker bundle back when Wind Waker first came out, and I eventually found this floating around in a GameStop, and okay, cool. Alright, the rest of the games are PlayStation 3 games. So, I don't have a lot of PS3 games, might get more, because we're starting to see some more PS3 games in the second-hand shops, now that PS3 is technically a recent-gen system. Although the mid to late 2000s consoles still are very, very playable, and there actually still are new games coming out on them. Interestingly enough, probably because the newer consoles aren't that much of a step up from their predecessors. Surprise, surprise. So PlayStation 3, GameCube, still in GameCube mode. Since backwards compatibility got dropped from the PS3, I decided to wait for a revision so it wouldn't be as much of a power sucker, and eventually finally wound up getting a PS3 with the Slim, which is my favorite of the PS3s. I don't like the Super Slim too much. It's a little tacky and plasticky, and the original PS3 was too much of a fingerprint magnet. So there were some improvements to this, like the more easily accessible user-serviceable hard drive, put a laptop hard drive in this thing and stuff like that. And yeah, original owner, bought this sucker new, picked it up back when the Slim was still could be had for new and stuff like that, and it's been fine. Don't play it very often, as evidenced by my severe lack of games, but it's a perfect... I have some downloadable stuff on here, too, so when we get to the more digital side of things, we'll have to go over some stuff. Like, I have Beyond Good and Evil HD, which is the reason why I said goodbye to my Beyond Good and Evil for PS2. I got it downloadable on here. I also have Flower and some other things. We'll get into that later when we get into the more downloadable side of things, but I want to at least finish the discrete consoles in this batch of videos that I'm filming tonight. So, alright, PS3 Slim. A very nice, very solid, very heavy system. Probably the heaviest console that I have. And but for what it is, decent gaming box, and not the greatest anymore, but yeah. So the PS3 actually has the unique status of having the most first-hand games, I think, that I'm the original owner for. Picked these up from like Target sales and stuff, and I probably could do some stuff like the CLGF guys' day one buy deals to get cheaper PS3 games that I'm interested in. I'll just have to see if we can do the double deal in any of the local Targets around here. I've got two that are a little ways away, but I could try that, just see if I can get some cheap PS3 games that way that are new instead of secondhand. And this chair is clunking like a mofo. So, actually, when I got this game, when I got the PS3, my games of choice, we'll start with those two, were Gran Turismo 5 and Ratchet and Clank All for One. But Gran Turismo 5 is a game that I was more than willing to wait for because there was that preview edition that came out. And finally a complete version came out, and this is the XL edition, which had some more tracks and some DLC included as well. I don't know why I'm even opening these. These are all complete because I'm the original owner. So, because I'm all the original owner and I take care of my stuff. Plus, being based on Blu-ray technology, these discs won't scratch up as easily as previous gen discs did because of the anti-scratch coating that's standard for most Blu-ray discs. GT5, I actually brought this over for the Christmas holiday, the Christmas celebration at my folks' place last Christmas, and people loved it. Even though PS3 is dated as far as graphics go, the game renders in 1080. I didn't bother with GT6. Don't know if I will bother with GT6. Some people consider it just like a reskin of GT5, but I'll have to get some more info on GT6 before I sink any money into it. But yeah, Gran Turismo 5. Still a decent game to this day. There are some PS3 gamers out there who prefer it over GT6. And, yeah, it was my day one buy, quite literally, because this is what I picked up the PS3 with, as well as to get some platforming going on, Ratchet and Clank All for One. I like the Ratchet and Clank series, so wound up getting this, and it came with some DLC for another Ratchet and Clank game that was downloadable, so I wound up picking that up. This is where I learned that a lot of these next-gen, back then, games were actually only in 720p, so coming over to the consoles from the PC, that's actually one of the reasons why I don't have a lot of PS3 games, is that multi-plats that have a PC release, 9 times out of 10, I've just gotten the PC game version instead, or the Steam version, and haven't bothered with anything on consoles. So, Ratchet and Clank, All for One, pretty decent game, although I haven't played much past the first stage, because I haven't been playing this system enough. My one only compilation on the PS3, the Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection, which I picked up because I was looking for some compilations. Lots of games from the Genesis era, and a reason for me not to get a lot of those games on Genesis since I have them on this comp disc. And I don't mind playing these games with some value-added content like HD achievements and interviews and stuff like that. I actually unlocked a Sonic interview the other day playing through Sonic 1. So I got a Chaos Emerald and unlocked something. So yeah, Genesis Collection. Again, the compilation. The reason why I like these compilation games is because they're usually big bargains. I mean, this was marked down to like 30-something. So you consider with all the price gouging going on, with all those people selling, rare vintage video games. I hate that. I hate the term vintage video games, by the way. But all those gouging resellers out there that are gouging people for cartridge games, yeah, you can flip them the bird with one of these compilation discs. And of course, since the ones on PS2 are kind of recent gen, you don't see the kind of pricing shenanigans with those that you would see with the cartridge versions of these older games. So yeah, Genesis Collection. And of course, what's a PlayStation without Grand Theft Auto? 4 and 5, obviously first hand, Haven't really gotten too into Grand Theft Auto because I've been playing 4, and 4, a little bit of 4, a little bit of 5, and I've wondered about the PC releases because there's some, you can see the limitations of the graphics on these things. So, but the reason why I didn't bother with the PC version of GTA 4 was because I heard about the DRM that was on it, and the reason why I didn't bother with the PC version of GTA 5 is because there wasn't one back when I was interested in this game. I saw all these beautiful screenshots of GTA and how GTA 5 hit on all cylinders and kind of bought into the hype and probably bought into it a little too much, paid full retail for GTA 5, so, yuck. One of the reasons why I have to play more on my old systems. Let the newer games sit around until after a couple price drops. I mean, we got articles going on to these you got articles that are going on to these websites saying that buying new games at launch is a really stupid idea these days, and I'm kind of inclined to believe some of them. So, okay, since I opened all the other ones. There, see? Although I think I opened it before. I don't know. Whoops! Taking a dive. Yeah, stare at Sonic for a bit. Yeah. So, I have been seeing some PS3 games pop up in the secondhand stores, though. So, I will be keeping an eye out for deals. I will also be keeping an eye on the day one buy thing while the PS3 stuff is still in Target to see if I can buy a $1 pre-order card, get 15 off a game that's price matched to Amazon. So I'll have to go take a look. I'm going to have to do a little scouting trip per se and see what PS3 games are floating around Target these days. And if I'd want to try the double discount deal with Amazon's price matching on any of the games. So probably make 2 trips to Target or some of the Targets around here at some point. Get a price list together and see when that'll work and if that'll work. Or at least maybe price match to Amazon when Amazon has a deep discount on something. Anywho, that is, we're done with all the non-Nintendo stuff. All that's left is the Wii and the Wii U, which might as well be done together because both the Wii U can play both sets of games. So, that'll be it for the terrestrial consoles, or physical consoles for now. There's also PC and downloadable stuff to go over as well, but that's not as much of a priority for me because I'm mostly looking for retro console games. The secondhand store isn't really doing as much with old PC games, and there's probably some reasons behind that. I might ask them next time I'm there. They're actually having a half-off sale for toys and collectibles. I don't know if they have any games mixed in, but if they do, like maybe some of those cartridge games that haven't been moving very quickly, I might pick up some of those as well, and I got some more stuff on the way. So, thanks for watching, everybody. I need a big drink now. I can barely talk. I wonder if I should even bother with the Wii U version tonight. Well, we'll soldier on. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by.